Is Jesus really God? Let's break it down for the skeptics. Let's talk about one of the most controversial claims in all of history. Jesus claimed to be God. Not just a good guy, not just a wise teacher, not just a prophet, but God in the flesh. If you're skeptical, good. This is worth examining. Let's dive in. 1. He didn't just claim it, he proved it. John 10:30. Jesus says, "I and the Father are one." The people around him didn't say, "Cool metaphor." They picked up stones to kill him for blasphemy. They knew exactly what he was claiming. And when asked if he was the Son of God, he didn't dodge it. He confirmed it, even when it cost him his life. 2. Jesus forgave sins. That's huge. In Mark 2, he forgives a man's sins publicly. That's something only God can do. The religious leaders were furious, saying, "Only God can forgive sins." So Jesus heals the man physically as proof he had divine authority. You can't forgive sins unless you're the one who was sinned against. Think about that. 3. He accepted worship and never corrected it. In multiple places, like Matthew 14 and John 20, people worship Jesus. Thomas literally calls him my Lord and my God. Did Jesus stop him? No, he affirmed it. Prophets in the Bible never accepted worship. Angels didn't accept worship, but Jesus did. That says something. 4. Jesus controlled nature, life, and death. He calmed storms with a command, walked on water, multiplied food, healed incurable diseases, brought people back from the dead, and then said he would die and come back 3 days later. Spoiler, he did. The tomb was empty. His enemies couldn't produce a body. His followers, who were hiding, became bold and unshakable after they saw him alive again. 5. The resurrection isn't a side detail, it's everything. Every other religious leader died and stayed dead. Jesus didn't. And over 500 eyewitnesses claim to have seen him alive. Many died refusing to deny it. Why would anyone die for something they knew was a lie? Final thought. If Jesus was just a man, none of this makes sense. But if he was God, it explains everything. His words, his miracles, his resurrection. Don't take my word for it. Investigate. Read the Gospels. Ask the hard questions. Because if Jesus really is God, you can't afford to ignore him. Follow for more honest, no-fluff deep dives into faith, evidence, and truth. And tell me in the comments, if Jesus isn't God, how do you explain all this? TikTok script. Is Jesus really God? A 5-minute challenge for non-believers. Let's talk about one man whose identity has sparked wars, changed lives, and divided history. Jesus Christ. Was he just a teacher, a revolutionary, or did he really claim to be God? If you're a skeptic, keep watching. This isn't about religion, it's about truth. 1. Jesus didn't merely hint, he explicitly claimed divinity. In John 8:58, Jesus said, "Before Abraham was, I am." That phrase, "I am," isn't random. It's the same name God used in Exodus when speaking to Moses. The Jews listening knew what he meant. That's why they tried to stone him. He wasn't claiming to be like God, he was claiming to be God. 2. Jesus forgave sins publicly. In Mark 2, Jesus forgives a paralyzed man's sins. That's not just spiritual fluff. The religious leaders were furious. Why? Because only God can forgive sins. Jesus didn't apologize. He healed the man on the spot to show he had the authority. 3. Jesus accepted worship. When people bowed before Jesus, he didn't stop them. When Thomas called him my Lord and my God, in John 20:28, Jesus didn't say, "Whoa, that's too far." He accepted it. In contrast, Prophets and angels in the Bible always rejected worship, but Jesus didn't. Why? Because he wasn't just a prophet, he was divine. 4. Jesus had power over nature and death. He calmed storms, walked on water, multiplied food, healed the blind and sick, raised the dead. These aren't just metaphors. Even his enemies didn't deny the miracles. They tried to stop them. 5. The resurrection. His boldest claim validated Jesus predicted his own death and resurrection. Then it happened. The tomb was empty. Over 500 people saw him alive. His followers, who were once terrified, suddenly became bold, willing to die rather than deny what they saw. Would they have endured torture and death for something they knew was a lie? Conclusion: if Jesus claimed to be God, if he forgave sins, if he accepted worship, if he performed miracles, and if he rose from the dead, then the question isn't just who was Jesus, it's what are you going to do about it? Don't ignore it, explore it, read the Gospels, ask hard questions, because if Jesus really is God, that changes everything. Follow for more. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you say Jesus is?